Alright, folks, it's time to dive into everything that went down in episode 8 of Batman, Caped Crusader. This one's packed with Easter eggs from the Batman comics. Batman faces off against a sort of vampire, but did you catch that the Robins made an appearance in this episode? And besides Nocturna, did you notice it also brought in two famous villains from the Bat's Rogues Gallery? We're gonna unpack all that and more in this deep dive, so stick around. Welcome to Comic Chronicles. We're continuing our reviews of each episode of Batman, Caped Crusader, and now we're gonna break down all the secrets packed into this episode, which has Batman battling the supernatural once again. So grab a snack because this episode has tons of references, and I bet you didn't catch them all. Hit that bat-like button if you're enjoying the video, and subscribe to our channel to help us grow here. Thanks a million, and let's jump right in. One night at an orphanage, a kid named Dick wakes up another kid, Jason, and invites him to check out the circus that just came to town. The two sneak out of the orphanage and, while peeking through a fence at the festival, a mysterious girl appears from behind and dares them to come into the festival space. She tells Dick she's gonna show him a really dark place and pulls him into a shadowy area. The next night, Bruce Wayne and his current girlfriend Julie are at the festival, and reporters are all around trying to find out what he's doing there. Bruce says he's there to support his buddy Harvey Dent in his run for mayor. A busload of kids from Leslie Tompkins' orphanage shows up, and Bruce is stoked to see her. He tells the press that she should be the one getting interviewed for dedicating her life to caring for Gotham's kids. As they chat, Harvey arrives, and Leslie thanks him for inviting the kids to the festival. Bruce and Julie settle in to watch a show at the festival, where a guy dressed as a scientist calls a volunteer from the audience to lift a weight. The guy can barely lift it, then he tries it with a girl who can't even budge it. So, the scientist takes the girl to a machine to give her more strength. When she tries to lift the weight again, she ends up hoisting it overhead, and everyone goes wild. Young Jason is watching the show too and realizes the girl is the same one from the night before, so when the show ends, he approaches her to ask about his friend Dick, who went missing after that night. The girl claims she knows where he went and can lead Jason to him. Jason follows her and finds his friend disoriented on the ground. He freaks out, but the girl grabs him and starts draining what seems to be his life energy, leaving Jason dazed like his buddy. The scientist guy shows up and scolds the girl, who turns out to be his sister. He tells her she shouldn't draw so much attention with two missing kids, and she needs to promise that she won't take any more kids while the festival is in Gotham. Then he just leaves without helping the two boys. Meanwhile, Leslie's looking for a third kid, Steffi Brown, and asks Harvey for help, but he barely pays attention, he's too anxious to talk to Thorne. Bruce asks Leslie what's up and starts searching for Steffi. He spots her being pulled by the girl who kidnapped the boys and follows them to a funhouse. When he hears a scream, Bruce springs into action and breaks through the mirrors to get outside. The festival workers see him smashing their funhouse and get mad. When Bruce tries to explain he's just looking for two girls, they misinterpret his motives and attack him, leaving him knocked out. The scientist goes to check on his sister and finds her with Steffi. He tries to stop her, but she whacks him, causing him to fall and get trapped under some furniture. He tells her to call for help, but she ignores him. When Bruce wakes up, it's almost time for the festival to close, so he heads to his car in the parking lot and gears up as Batman to investigate. Alfred, who's been reading a book about Grey Ghost, informs Batman that he called a cab for Julie to head home. Leslie and some other kids are still at the festival looking for Dick, Jason, and Steffi, but now Carrie's also gone missing. Batman starts grilling the festival workers and manages to locate the trailer where the missing kids were kept. The brother of Natalia, the girl who abducted the kids, is still trapped under the furniture and ends up giving in. Before he passes, he tells Batman that the kids will be fine once they get their energy back. But Natalia is in trouble, she'll only be okay if Batman finds her before sunrise because she has a rare disease that makes her weak and her skin burn in sunlight. The only way she stays strong is by draining energy from others, but she's out of control and keeps wanting more. Nearby, Carrie's practicing with her slingshot to attack the kidnapper when she spots him. Not knowing who he is, she doesn't suspect anything when Natalia shows up, trying to convince her to come to the festival. Carrie realizes she's in danger when she refuses to go with Natalia, who then tries to grab her and chases her to absorb her energy. Batman swoops in to stop Natalia, and they end up in a clash until Batman reveals that her actions led to her brother's death. She breaks down, and her skin starts burning as the sun begins to rise. She lets the sun scorch her, but Batman covers her with his cape and takes her to the hospital for treatment, along with the kids who were found and need to recover. Earlier that night, while Harvey's meeting with Thorne, the crime boss offers him a suitcase of cash as a supposed donation to the mayoral campaign in exchange for dropping charges against Milligan. At first, Harvey hesitates but ultimately takes the deal. However, the next day in court, when the judge asks if the prosecution wants to drop the charges, Harvey insists on proceeding and requests that Milligan be held until trial. Because he betrayed Thorne, the mobster's right-hand man ambushes Harvey, throwing acid in his face, transforming him into the Two-Face we know. This episode is super intriguing. Nocturna is a character that the animation producers wanted to include in Batman, the animated series, but they were shot down by Warner, who didn't want a storyline where Batman faced a vampire. But here's the twist, she's not exactly a vampire. In her comic origin, Natalia Knight was an astronomer who got a job at Gotham City Observatory, which was even managed by Wayne Enterprises. One night, a radioactive laser hit her, draining all the pigment from her skin. As a result, Natalia became sensitive to light. So, while she looks like a vampire, she doesn't fit the classic mold. According to Bruce Timm himself, Natalia was initially supposed to be an adult in the animation who made lots of charitable donations to gain access to kids. But in the end, the production team decided to make her a kid, which led to a better storyline where her victims would be orphans, referencing the Robins. Despite all that, this episode isn't just about spotlighting Nocturna and her bizarre feeding habits, it's also loaded with Easter eggs from the Batman comics. The character Julie, who's with Bruce Wayne, is Julie Madison, Bruce's very first girlfriend in the comics. We've also got Leslie Tompkins making an appearance, the doc who's always there to patch Batman up when he's injured, and Alfred can't help. Plus, the kids who are victims in this episode are basically stand-ins for various Robins that showed up in the comics over the years: Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, Stephanie Brown, Carrie Kelly. They're not the actual Robins here, just fun nods. Another character that pops up is Killer Croc, working among the festival staff. One thing we don't quite know yet that's worth discussing is the fact that the Robins were introduced right off the bat in this episode. Is this a way to hint at a future Robin, or maybe more than one? Or is it just a simple Easter egg, and this Batman won't have any sidekicks? We're gonna have to wait for Season 2 to see. I'd love to see a Robin in a future season of Caped Crusader, that'd be amazing and totally aligned with the comic lore. I also can't overlook the final moments of the episode. Nocturna realizing her mistakes, discovering she took her brother's life, and wanting to end the cycle is really powerful. Batman saving her in the end is just fantastic. The scene where he carries her while Carrie walks beside him, holding onto his cape, is so Batman. And to wrap it all up, this episode delivers the tragic moment where Harvey Dent gets acid thrown in his face, becoming Two-Face. The animation did a phenomenal job building up this character leading to his transformation, but I'll save all the nitty-gritty details about him for the next video. You can also check out all the little details and secrets behind each episode by clicking on the card that's popping up on your screen. Definitely check those out, they're jam-packed with info. If you want to dive into more of the Batman universe, I'll drop some great comic recommendations in the description of this video. Using our affiliate links helps our channel without costing you a dime. Thank you for all your support. Now I want to hear from you. Did you enjoy episode 8 of Batman, Caped Crusader? What was your favorite moment? Drop your thoughts in the comments, smash that like button, and subscribe to our channel. Join our growing community here on YouTube, and don't miss any of the latest news about DC and Marvel. Thanks a ton, and catch you in the next video.